As y'all look and y'all read this, if you go back and you dare to watch this clip, this 1 minute and 51 second clip is more than the mind can boggle. Any healthy person that loves God can't even fathom the thoughts of what's said, of what these sick, disgusting, anti-God people do, that we have accepted as leadership, that we have accepted as celebrities. These people need to be in prison on their preparation to hell than still walking around successful.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. These people need to be in jail. Now, I've said a couple of other things, but I was talking to God because he said vengeance is his, and what he does is way worse retribution than jail. All I can say is if these people aren't arrested, it's really going to say a lot about our government. It really is.
So we're going to keep going into further videos. This is the Alex Jones segment on Fresh and Fit podcast. This is on TikTok. I don't even need this whole thing. I just saw this 1 minute and 50 second clip. And then as I'm going through videos, I'm just looking like, what else is out there? Because you could put, there's so much crap. There's so much crap going on out here that the conspiracy theorists and all these people that have been saying this stuff for years are right. Mm-hmm. They're right. We thought it was just conspiracy. It's not conspiracy.
Yeah, because it was so heinous. Couldn't nobody wrap their mind like, oh, please.
You couldn't wrap your mind around it.
Who's going to do that? Who does that?
And then you got people like this. These are the same people, babe. These are the same people that's saying, forget ICE and everybody's free on, listen to what she's saying. Listen to what she's saying.
Babies. Ooh, I love babies. Oh yeah, they love on these. It's crazy. I mean, I do too though, because I have an iron deficiency, so shit tastes good. Like, do you guys like the taste of blood? Do you? Does anyone here like the taste of blood? Because I like it. I like the taste of blood.
Wasn't you supposed to be the world's #1 virtue signaller at an award show just a couple weeks ago? And you're telling everyone you like the taste of what? I think you need to be careful with statements like that, considering everything that's coming out now. Even the NPCs and the people who weren't switched on are starting to rub a bit of that sleep out of their eyes. Yeah, you want to maraud on stage, you're some hero, when you have no idea what it is to live amongst real people, real working class people. But you like the taste of what? Make it make sense. And these are supposed to be people children should be looking up to.
Yep.
Shut them all down. Cancel them all.
So true.
Let's go what the Bible says. Let's see what the Bible says about that. Let's see what the Bible say. Read that first one, babe. Romans 1:28 through 32.
God gave them over to a depraved mind, filled with every kind of wickedness. They invent ways of doing evil. They not only continue to do these very things, but also approve of those who practice them.
These people are sick. And you'll notice, I don't know about you, but there's a consistent pattern of the sick and the non-sick. And if y'all notice, like I said before, there's a clear divide. There's a clear divide. These are separations of people. You got to separate yourself. If you for God, you believe in Jesus, you got to be over here, because these people are all over here, and it's crystal clear on the line that has been drawn. And with these evidence and these files that have come out, be careful of your favorite celebrity. This morning, y'all, I had a dream, and I saw this in my dream. I saw the top image. And if y'all look at the top right, because I'm a dreamer, you know, I'll see things in my dream, then the next thing I'll see it on live happening. And this is what I saw in my dream. I saw right here on the right, which looks like the Pope. This was in my dream. And he was next to somebody else, but in the front was a girl. It was a girl. She had white on. But so it wasn't, so in this picture she has red, but she has a white scarf. Mm-hmm. And the Pope was behind her. He was like, he had a candle. And he had a candle that was like lit. You know how they have those Catholic, you see that they had those candles lit, and he was like burning her shirt. Like it was like this was fun while he smiled and laughed while she was in torture.
Wow.
And I wonder, was God showing me that? Did I see that? Was that imagination mixed with, you know, him showing me something and in my mind putting else something with it, or is that one of the sick things that goes on in the darkness that some of these people do that call themselves people of God that are in the spotlight? I don't know which pope this is and which time frame this is. Based on how the dress, it looks very old. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get shown that for a reason. And then the next day I saw these with this little picture in the, it's short little clip. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop.
Carter.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. Mm. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. And then you have ritual ceremonies and ritual murder, as well as incidental murder. The other working assumption is how long do these children survive? What I am hearing from the witnesses that I've talked to is 2 years.
Wow.
You hear that?
That's horrible.
I wonder, is that why I dreamed that? Because, and you see who they have on it. You have to have power to move children through the system and on planes. You got to have money and power and connections to do all this
right, to
wickedness.
Have a whole human without a birth certificate.
Exactly. To do this wickedness, you got to be able to, you got to have power.
That's insane. That was a judge. He looked like a judge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the man on the right was priest.
I'm talking about the guy who was talking.
Yeah, he did look like a judge for sure.
He would definitely, I feel he would truly have access to that information.
Absolutely. I want you to read these two for me. Ephesians 5:11-12, and also I want you to read Psalms 106:37-38.
Have nothing to do with the fruitful deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret.
Now give me Psalms 106.
They sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons, innocent blood, and the land was desecrated.
Unfruitful works of darkness and sacrifice is what goes on back here in these twisted elite. And just don't get it twisted. Just because you can have plenty of money and have a righteous heart, love God, and live how you're supposed to live. But it's some people that have gotten so much money to where they want to do the bizarro wicked because they have been so unfulfilled with the norm. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
And this, I feel the same way this guy when he was reading. So this guy was reading this. He was reading the files, and this is how I felt reading some of it. I can't put myself to be able to read all this stuff. I don't know who this guy is. If he's just a reporter, or he works in there, or just another man reading the files like us. But I don't think I have the heart to be able to go through all the files. But this is kind of when I was reading some of this stuff.
Well, I just made the biggest mistake probably that I've ever made in my life. Last night, couldn't sleep, looked at the files, started with documents, moved on to video, and my God, bloody hell. We're living in bloody hell. I had to stop because I can't unsee what I saw. Mm-hmm. In my life, I watched horror movies, not even close. Blood-curdling screams of young kids, the fear in these children. These people are the devil walking earth.
Wow.
The devil is on earth. It was horrible. Unaliving of children. The idea that they've been unaliving children, cutting up intestines and eating them, unaliving babies, violating, essaying these children. I mean, I've never in my life, if you had told me in my wildest dreams, I swear, maybe I'm naive. Am I naive? But if you told me in my wildest dreams that this kind of thing was happening in this country, or in, with the Vatican and all this whole circle of pain and power, I wouldn't have believed you.
Exactly. I totally agree with him.
Right.
And I was wondering, so going to the next, it was very interesting, baby. I was listening to this guy. His name is Professor Jang, and it was like, why do people get in these secret societies to do that? Even these elite priests and all these people of power, why do they go into these secret societies, and why do they go to do satanic worship? And he gave a good. This is only the first part, but he gave a good, explanation of why this goes on and why they want this.
Okay, remember the Big Bang, evolution, neuroscience. It's to teach us that there's no God, there's no purpose. It's all just random. It's all just material. So how do we get to this point? Okay. The answer is very simple, and we'll be discussing this throughout the rest of the semester, okay? The problem is that you have heaven, you have earth, and you have hell, okay? The heaven is spiritual. It's consciousness. Hell, it's mechanical. It's machines. Okay? We're stuck in between. It's always our choice whether to choose heaven or hell because of free will. Okay? And for most of human history, we have chosen heaven. But eventually, you had people who chose hell. And when you have choose hell, you have access to technology.
Wow.
Right? And this technology allows you to conquer and control other people. Okay? But once you conquer and control the people, you have to get them to obey you. If you are enlightened, if you know the truth, you know that none of this matters. We're all gonna die, so why should I listen to you? So, in order for me to control you, I need you to fear death. Okay? I need you to forget God, and I need you to fear death. When you die, dying is the worst thing that can happen to you. Because remember, before people understood, death was just a part of the journey. It was a release. It was an opportunity to reset yourself and come back. Now, death is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Okay? So how do you forget God? And how do you get people to fear death? You use science. Right? You create theories like the Big Bang, like evolution, like neuroscience, to make people forget the divinity inside you. Right? So that's what science is for. But unfortunately, for these people, that's not enough. Because eventually, we'll all die. Right? So the only way around this is by creating a new technology called transhumanism. Okay? You may have heard of transhumanism. Again, don't worry about the concept now. We'll discuss this later on in the semester. But transhumanism is to surpass humanity, which basically means defeat death. To upload your brain to the internet so you're here forever. Okay? To trap you here forever. And so, now the question then is, why are they doing this? Why are people in power doing this? Okay, so, as we've discussed in this class, throughout human history, it's usually secret societies that have the power. Okay? Why? Okay. Well, last class we discussed the idea of bureaucracy, right? Mass bureaucracy. And we discussed how, in a mass bureaucracy, bureaucrats don't really want to do anything. They're lazy. Well, guess what? If you're part of a secret society, and you're able to coordinate secretly together, you can control the bureaucracy because you're the only people doing stuff. Okay?
So that's just a small little clip of I gotta go and I gotta get the rest of his the study of what he was saying.
I'm like his,
Yeah, there's a science behind it, unfortunately. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a science behind it. And he looks like a man that's in the education level. So now we're going to look at, you got one more.
Oh, okay.
And now look at the aspect, I want you to look at the aspect of, this is one man telling you about why this is this. And now you got another person on the totally opposite of spectrum. And I hope she is in education because I found that some of these people be teachers. I don't know why, but I hope she's not. But the last person I heard talking like this was an educator.
Okay.
So this was a TED Talk. And people like this want norms, like the things that's going out in the world, to be okay. They want us to be able to accept the norm so that when the blows come out of things like this that have happened, you want to, like, it softens it. Mm-hmm. It's not a big deal because we have been programmed by people like this to think like this. Mm-hmm. I wish I had that shoe that was thrown at George Bush back in the day if I was sitting in that row. Sitting at that event. Listen to this woman, man.
Right now, most of us feel discomfort when we think about this scenario. And most of us feel discomfort when we think about pedophiles. But just like pedophiles, we are not responsible for our feelings. We do not choose them.
Why should I say we?
But we are responsible for our actions. And we must make a decision. It is in our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles and to treat them with the same respect we treat other people with. We should accept that pedophiles are people who have not chosen their sexuality and who, unlike most of us, will never be able to live it out freely if they want to lead an upright life. We should accept that pedophilia is a sexual preference, a thought, a feeling, and not an act. We should differentiate between child sexual abuse and pedophilia. We shouldn't increase the suffering of pedophiles by excluding them, by blaming and mocking them. By doing that, we increase their isolation and we increase the chance of child sexual abuse.
She said a whole bunch of bull crap.
Okay.
That was bull crap. And I want you to read this. Read this for me too. When I hear you got to be, it's got to be the enemy talking to you when you talk like this. Read John 8:44.
John 8:44. You belong to your father, the devil. He was a murderer from the beginning. There is no truth in him.
The devil, your father, because ain't no Lord Jesus, no God is talking to you and tell you that something like that is okay and should be accepted. So I'm sorry. That was a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I can see why she might be trying to say that because it's a mental. I feel like she's trying to come from the angle as it's a mental disorder. Or something on those lines where, it's still a human, and I get that. However, right is right and wrong is wrong. And these people know exactly what they're doing. Come on. I don't agree with anything that she's saying in that video. I feel as though that's what justice is all about. So is she trying to say not to take things into your own hands? I get that.
She's saying we should accept for these people of who they are. No, we shouldn't. We don't have to accept who they are.
No.
We don't have to accept that.
No.
Because you know what happens after acceptance? Next, we should allow it. That's what they be talking about now.
It becomes okay, and that is never okay. So no, I don't agree at all either.
I am glad some of these things have come out. And I think there's still a lot more to come. But here's my concern. See all this exposed? Mm-hmm. My worry is now we're going to have a massive event that's going to completely shift the eyes off of this so that this can quiet a little bit.
Well,
listen, let me finish. Mm-hmm. So this can quiet a little bit because human nature, whenever something like this comes out and it's this vile and it's this disgusting, the only thing that can top this, if something that you have to worry about in fear of your own life.
Catastrophic
mm-hmm. And fear of your life and fear of your family's lives. That's the only thing that will shift the eyes off this satanic stuff onto something else and let it fade a little bit. Stuff can fade a little bit. Now, people might talk about it, but it ain't going to have as much power because you had this next event that really happened. I feel like that's what we're about to come up on.
Well, we the people and content creators, influencers, I mean, it's not going to go silent because it hasn't. It's the buzz is still been created. The justice, now it's just continuous of it. And yes, something could happen to thwart or to throw, the spotlight on it, but I don't think it would be very long. Based off of what, what's my guy's name? Alex Jones was explaining. Please.
Me and you have totally
How
different
in the
views.
world?
I feel like all it takes is a catastrophic event. Nobody's focused on that no more because you focus on your safety. And then
Not no more.
By the time a little time has gone by, now this ain't the blowing ain't soft, and they doing what they doing in the works. But that's how this country does. That's how this world does. They have to get you to hey, look over there.
I don't think so in this situation.
Because stuff will get stirred up, and then what happens? Then people will start attacking these people that are in this file. It'll start being more harm, a danger to them, where a lot of these people probably ain't even go to jail.
Well,
they probably ain't gonna get no kind of repercussions from this. A slap on the wrist, they're gonna lawyer you up, and then they're gonna get out of it and go on about their life.
Maybe, but I don't know. I remain hopeful. I believe just like they made an example out of Martha Stewart, they're gonna make an example out of one of these government officials. I mean, come on. That was one of the things that, was one of the things that Trump ran on. Get the right folks in office who going to actually do something and whose name not in.
I don't. I think we're about to face something. For this to be so big and this stuff being so massive, I think our eyes are about to shift to something else that's about to scare everybody.
Okay. Well, like I said, I feel like if there is something that's going to shift eyes, I just don't think it's going to be permanent, and this is just going to be, okay, we're not going to do anything about this, or we're going to wash this up under the bridge. Now, what the repercussions are going to be, I don't know.
Bet me.
But I don't think it's going to go away. You
already owe me $5 from the other day.
From what?
Come on, if you lost the bet. But
no, I know. Okay, so let's see then, babe. We're gonna see.
So I want y'all to. I don't want this to die when this Black Swan event happens or this other thing that comes up. I do not want this to die. But I know how if something scares us enough that people will, like COVID. I mean, that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as things got a little better, forgot about that. Did that exist? Is the food shelter closed? Did that exist? People weren't talking about it no more. Their eyes had shifted back to the norm. So think about it, if something you got to worry about, you're in fear of your life. So, but all these people are discussing nasty, vile. It's even videos I couldn't even play in the beginning. I couldn't play that on YouTube.
Mm-mm.
So, all right, y'all. I don't know, man. This is the wildest joint. Plus, when I saw in my dream, when I saw the Pope and stuff, and I was like, okay.
What is going on here?
What's going on?
We ain't saying because we don't know about the Pope, but
I don't. I just know what I saw in my dream, and then what I think happened in my dream is something that happens what we can't see. But I did see that it was that picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, amazing people.
I don't know what else to say, but to go and end this off. You guys, something else you can end it off. Right?
No, man. What y'all feel about how y'all think about this? What you've been hearing about what's going on? How you feel about it? Put it in the comment section and let us know what you think.